Welcome in, welcome in. So today's message is going to be why they pretend not to see you, but they're secretly watching you. Here's why. So, chosen ones, have you ever experienced someone acting like they do not see you, but they're watching your every move? And have you ever asked yourself, why do they do this? Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in. Whenever you come in, don't forget to introduce your name in the chat. Let me see. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Precious K. I'm a transformational life coach, prophetess, and author, and I help people heal emotional pain, whether you're dealing with betrayal, trauma, or anything emotional that you're having a hard time bouncing back from. So today's message, I was saying a little bit earlier, I was saying that today's message is going to be why they pretend not to see you, but they secretly study and watch your every move. Hey, Chantel, welcome in. Yeah, so as the chosen one, when a lot of people don't understand your gifts, you're going to get a lot of pushback. A lot of people, it's going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers because they don't understand your calling. But in this season, God don't want you to shrink back just because somebody don't understand your calling. Welcome in, Melanie. Thank you so much for coming in. So do I have anybody in this chat that has been through a situation where you was either at work, you was either in your family or church, and you had somebody pretend like they didn't see you, but they secretly study and watch you and might even have other people watching you? Let's talk about it. And while I'm waiting on your comments, I'm going to just go ahead and keep going. But what I want you to understand is that when people do that, it's not you. So don't think that it's you as the problem as to why, Melanie said, yeah, as to why they study you. Your light is shining so bright, and you have a lot of people out here, they try to find ways to dim your light because some people feel like your light takes something from them. You know, they look at your light and your life like y'all in competition, but God didn't put us here to be in competition. He put us here for a purpose. And for some reason, you're going to experience a lot of people that don't understand your journey, and they're going to choose popularity over purpose. So I just want y'all to know that, be aware and awaken to those type of people. And a lot of times, your light can awaken like their insecurities. Some people can feel uncomfortable around you and don't have no reason why, and they'll just start lashing out on you for no reason. I'm not sure if you guys experience that, but I know I've experienced it so many times, and it's very disturbing to your peace, for some reason, because it's like when people see you happy and they see you thriving in your life and they have been pretending, they look at your peace as if you're pretending because they don't really, because they was living their lives in illusion. So they don't understand how real peace supposed to look. So as chosen ones, you're going to experience a lot of people trying to affect your peace. But God always, I'm not sure if y'all are at that stage where God is showing you and pruning you and teaching you how to deal with those situations. But if you have not yet reached that point, I'm definitely here. Like if you have any questions, like if you experience situations and you don't know how to respond to them, that's where I step in at. And Kristen say yes. Okay. And a lot of times it can be them battling their ego as well. Because a lot of times, I don't know why people do this, but when they have limits on themselves, they try to place other people in the same limits. Like if they feel like they don't want you to surpass them, they want to keep you in a box. But I'm here to tell you tonight that do not allow anyone to put you in a box. God did not put us here to stay in the box. He put us here to rise. Who am I talking to today? And you have a lot of people that want you to seek permission. They want you to bow to them. They want you to, want you to seek validation for them. But God did not put us here to seek validation from nobody else. I'm not sure if y'all experiencing this. Yes, control. Christine, you said it right. They want control and they want to manipulate. But in this season, I want y'all to be awakened and aware to people trying to control your emotions. I know that's right. Yes. They try to treat you like puppeteers, like they want to control your emotions. Hold on, you guys. They want to control your emotions and make you, like I say, they want you to do what they want you to do. And God didn't put us here to be controlled. But if you have somebody like that in your life, you need to go ahead and remove yourself from around them right now, because they're going to try to pull you down and hinder your growth. And that's why, have you ever asked yourself, like, say for instance, you in a situation and you see a lot of people surpassing you, but you feeling like, well, dang, why am I not moving anywhere? Why can I, everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that. Not that you're comparing your life, but you're seeing that that you're supposed to be going higher, but you're not going up. Sometimes you have to look in your circle, or look at the people around you, because they could be hindering your growth and stopping you, and you don't even know it. So in this season, God wants you to pay attention to distractions, eliminate anybody that don't have your best interests at heart. As soon as you see something funny, I'm telling you, you need to cut them off, because they're going to try to sabotage your journey. Welcome in. Who's that? Ruger and Isaac. Welcome in, Melanie. That's why so, Melanie said, that's why I said I'm gone. I know that's right. Chop them deuces up real quick. Yes. But my channel, for those of you who are new here, I want to first of all say welcome, and I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting my channel, showing up. I see y'all in the comments. I'm enjoying reading y'all comments. Just keep all that positive, momentum going. So, but just to give y'all a little rundown about what my channel is about, I talk about a lot of different topics because I've been through a lot of situations, and I want to help people heal from the experiences that I've been through. Because sometimes we can be put in a situation, especially like if you're dealing with betrayal, you could be put in a situation and you think that there's no way out. But if you but the topics that I talk about is betrayal, trauma. We're talking about gang stalking. I talk about anything. Let's see, if having fear and doubt, if you're an introvert and you're afraid to take the next step forward. It's just a lot of different topics that we talk about depending on your situation and what you've been through. But it seems like the topics I've been talking about lately has been resonating with a lot of you. And I'm so glad that I was able to, God placed me on this platform to reach you. Because I wouldn't have never thought that I, see so many people going through betrayal. Because it's a lot of times, a lot of people, they're afraid to open up when it comes to these type of topics. And it's very uncomfortable, because I'm not sure about any of you, but a lot of times when you're going through these situations, some people, people try to silence you. They try to shun you and outcast you so that you will lose yourself, or you will feel too afraid to step into your calling. But in this season, God say, do not let nobody silence you. Walk in your calling unapologetically. Because I know when I found out, I know that's right. Tammy say, happy blessed Wednesday. Happy blessed Wednesday, Tammy. Thank you so much for stopping in. But I know that when I found my purpose, to be honest, I was thinking that it was going to be glitters and gold, like God was just going to drop blessings in my lap and it just was going to be smooth sailing. But no, I actually discovered my purpose through my pain and the betrayals I went through. So it's not always going to be an easy, smooth sailing ride. Mine still feel like a roller coaster because I'm still on the ride, but I'm actually seeing, and I have more clarity than I did when I first started my journey. Because the best thing about it is, like, when you go through this betrayal and the pain, you start understanding the patterns, like, oh, I've been through this before, and you start getting immune to the attack. So you are no longer afraid, you're no longer uncomfortable. So that's why the enemy, when they get to that point, the enemy look at you as a threat. So Christine says, me too. He's still showing me people. Yes. And I just want to let you know, before God bless you, he will reveal everybody who don't have your best interests at heart. People who he'll show you their true colors. And it's going to hurt you, because the people that he show you, you're not going to believe, like, oh my God, is this person? It could be somebody close to you. It could be your mama. It could be your sister. It could be your, your manager. It could be your supervisor. It could be your coworker. It can be your cousin or a church member, and those type of people, like I said, you never would think would betray you or stab you in the back. But you got to understand that when people see something in you and they lack it in themselves, they'll tear down anybody in the path just to feel like they're above you for some reason in this generation, you have a lot of people want to feel like they're above you, and they think that life is a race, but life is not a race. Everybody is here for a purpose. But you got to put the work in. You can't expect God to bless you if you're not putting the work in. And what you cannot, and what they don't understand, they cannot do is try to step on somebody else to rise. Because when you try to tear somebody else down and try to step on somebody else, you're hindering your own blessings, and you telling God that you don't feel like you're ready to step into the calling that he placed for you. And a lot of times I was going to say, if you experiencing some attacks right now, it could be hidden admiration. Some people, they admire what you do. They love what you do, and they can't believe what you're doing. But because it's you, it upsets them. You know why? Because they wish it was them. So for some reason, some people, they want to take your blessings for themselves and not put the work in. But like I said, if you're dealing with somebody like that, where they're envious of your calling, they feel, just treating you mean or gossiping or smearing your name, you got to come out from amongst them. So, and I'm not sure if any of you on this live tonight, have y'all experienced somebody having silent competition with you guys, or you felt like you thought they was for you, but they was silently competing with you and trying to sabotage you without you knowing? Have anybody experienced that? And don't forget to share out the live, you guys, because I know a lot of people might want to hear this. Okay, so Tammy say, out of pure envy and jealousy. Yes. They be jealous and envious of you, but they have hidden motives. And if you don't pay attention, you won't catch it. But that's why, you got to get close to God so he can show you those hidden motives so you can know what to be awakened and aware of. Because a lot of times, like I said, it's so easy to look at people like, oh, this is my family, this is my cousin, I ain't gonna think nothing of it, or this is my brother or sister, I'm not gonna think nothing of it. They don't mean what they say. But no, if somebody, no matter how close they are to you, whoever it is, if they doing something to disrespect you out of jealousy and hate, you don't need to surround yourself around that person. And I know a lot of times, because I made the mistake of thinking that just because this person was my family, or whoever it was, I felt obligated to feel like I had to talk to them. But no, don't feel obligated that you have to talk to somebody, because you don't. If they disrespect you, choose distance over drama and disrespect. Point blank, period. Tammy says, yes, my own mother and only sister. Wow. And it's crazy. That's why I say, sometimes it could be the closest one in your family, because see, I think most of the family betrayals, it comes from, thank y'all so much for showing love and alive. I think the family betrayals, it comes from them, knowing that you growing up, especially if they're younger. No, I'm sorry. If you're younger than them, and they see that you're growing up too fast, they want to keep you in a box. And when you surpass them, that's when the problem come in. And that's when you're going to start noticing them trying to humble you, trying to embarrass you in front of a lot of people, trying to smear your name, because they don't want other people to look at you like you're doing better than them. And like I said, life is not a competition, but in some families, like I said, they want to keep you boxed in and keep you living a limitless life where you'll never reach your potential. But if you're noticing that you're dealing with somebody like that, whether it's your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, if they're doing something to hurt you, you got to choose distance over drama and disrespect. You can still love them, but you're going to have to love them from afar, because they're going to try to ruin your life. And Tammy said, I'm 58 and this have been most of my life. Wow, Tammy, I'm so sorry to hear that, But like I say, even though you're going through that situation, don't feel obligated like you got to stay in that situation or you got to be around them. You still can love them, but you do not have to surround yourself around people that don't respect you or have your best interests at heart. Because the way people are moving lately, it has been very evil. People has been doing some crazy things, and it's getting worse. Like jealousy and spiritual warfare. Jealousy and envy is turning into spiritual warfare now. So you have to be careful, with people. They hate you so much that they starting to use witchcraft, black magic, and all this stuff to try to, hurt people, because they feel like they can't match the level of the anointing that God placed on your life. But I'm here to tell you today that that's not your problem, that they can't match it. They can't match it because they're not trying to heal themselves. And God didn't put us here to match somebody else's anointing. God put us here for a purpose. And Melanie said, oh my God, amen. I had to go. They did and said too much disrespect. I put them first. I learned. God got me out of it. Yes, God will remove you quick. But you got to be awakened and aware, to what he's showing you. Because sometimes God can show people things and they miss it. But when he show you, you got to move right on time, because God move in divine timing. Yeah, Tammy said exactly. And Christine says, I feel like they're sick. Yes, they're empty vessels. They're allowing the enemy to take control over them. They don't care about nobody but themselves. And honestly, the people that's doing this don't even like themselves, is what God was revealing to me. They don't like themselves. And because they don't like themselves, they want to pull you down and keep you beneath them. But God did not put us here, for you to feel like you beneath somebody. God didn't put us here to be controlled. And God definitely did not put us here to not, reach your fullest potential. Because as a chosen one, I'm not sure if you guys can relate to this or if you had this happen, but it just seemed like your whole life is just interference. Everybody's trying to distract you. Everybody's trying to delay you. Everybody's trying to block your blessings intentionally because they don't want to see you rise. Melanie said yes. Christine said yes. Christine said that's why they want to break. Yes, they want to break you down because you rising too fast and they want to slow down your progress. Rhonda says, greetings, sister. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. I'm hoping, praying to be able to purchase your book and book a session with you next month. I'm ready when you're ready, Rhonda. I'm so happy, to see your courage and ready to take that step. Yes, I'll be ready for you, because I'm telling you, go ahead and get that healing so you can go after the life you know you deserve. And Tammy said, I told everyone that I no longer entertain nonsense, period. I know that's right, Tammy. And Rhonda said, amen, sister. Yes. But, like I said, a lot of times, people try to set you back because for some reason, like when a lot of people come across chosen ones, they want to put you in a state of like, they feel like they got to humble you because they intimidated and afraid of your strength. So they feel like if they humble you and publicly, humiliate you, then it'll make you dumb yourself down to their level or just dim your light and be afraid. But I'm here to tell you that do not dumb yourself down. Do not shrink. Do not allow them to humble you, because in this season, guess what? God finna humble them. The same people who tried to tear your spirit down, getting ready to be humbled. Because my thing is, nobody should put themselves in a situation to feel like they can humble somebody. You're not God. And see, that's why a lot of people don't get blessed, because they want to be God. There's only one God, and his name is Yahweh. Only one God. And they getting upset because, they get upset because you won't allow them to control you. I know what Melanie say. I know that's right, because he don't play by me. I know that's right, Melanie. He sure don't. Yes. He don't play by none of his chosen ones. Okay, somebody saying stalking family members won't leave me alone. Wow. Illuminated said that. I know what you mean about the stalking family members, because like I said, one thing about them family members, they'll see you on social media and will not support you, but they will stalk everything you do. Or they'll have other people, stalking you, bringing them information. That's just that monitoring spirit energy. So you have to be awakened and aware of that. But I'm not sure like which type of stalking. I'm not sure if you're talking about like gang stalking or just monitoring. Illuminated, or you feeling like they're stalking you and monitoring? Let me know in the comments. And you say you just want my peace. Yes. And see, that's the thing. You have peace and they trying to steal it from you. That's the problem. They already know. I mean, you saying that you want peace. They trying to rob you of your peace. But you got to utilize, your tools and the gifts that God gave you to not allow them to destroy your peace, not allow them to affect your inner peace. You got to protect it. You can't allow them to. Because like I say, that's what they do. You're going to have a lot of narcissists especially come around with noise campaigns, having crowds of people, they all setting the stage for your downfall. You got to be awakened and aware and pay attention and, use pretty much emotional intelligence and your wisdom, because you cannot stoop down to these low levels of these people that's trying to destroy you. Because if you stoop down to their level, you're going to you're going to lose what God has given to you. God rising you up because he trusts you, and he knows that he knows that you know better. He knows that you know better. Somebody said, yes, touch not my anointed ones and do my prophets no harm. That's right, Christine. And you said both gang stalking and monitoring. And see, the thing about it, Illuminated, like they're doing that because they want you to be afraid. And let me tell you, the enemy moves in fear, intimidation, and control. So once you identify those three things, you'll know exactly what you're dealing with. So what I would suggest, like, don't worry about the monitoring, because as chosen ones, we deal with that a lot. And it's something that, we can't control. For some reason, our light just attracts so much attention because we're vibrating at a higher frequency than everybody else. And see, they don't understand what frequency you're on. So you're going to be stalked because they don't understand your calling. And that's what I had to realize too, because it is annoying. You could be, at the park, or you could be, just doing your everyday thing. And then you feel, as chosen, we can feel it. Even though if we don't even physically see them, we can feel the monitoring. But don't let that disturb your peace. You still got to just keep moving. Just keep praying about it. I have a prayer book that also speaks about monitoring spirits, gang stalking, because I've been through that as well. And I'm telling you, it's very disturbing. But one thing about me, I did not allow it to affect my peace. I learned to move accordingly. And those same people that try to attack me, like the saying said, they fleed, because they know that I'm untouchable. When God chooses a chosen one, he makes you untouchable. So they can watch you. That's all they can do. They cannot do anything else. And that's why you're being stalked. Because they want you to be afraid, and they want you to start doubting yourself. But you cannot give them the power to make them feel like they in control of you. They want control. But see, when it comes to the chosen ones, you cannot control a chosen one. Point blank, period. And that's why they're upset. But don't be afraid. Who's Illuminate? Like, don't be afraid. Don't let that stop your everyday routine. What I would suggest is, be even more at peace. You need to cultivate an unapologetic energy. That's what I've learned how to do. And just because you cultivating that unapologetic energy, it does not mean that you being cocky or arrogant. But you got to be careful, because you have some narcissists out here. They will call you arrogant because you are not stooping down to their low vibrational levels. So don't fall in that trap of stooping down to their levels, because like I said, if you stoop down to their level and react to the smear campaigns, react to the provocations, react to the noise stuff that they're doing, you're going to fall in that trap, and it's going to amplify them even more. So you cannot give them that power. Melanie said, yes, Lord, them and them witches, they funny. Yes, the witches, a lot of the witches and warlocks and the cults, they coming together in groups trying to take the chosen one down, but they cannot take us down. We by ourselves and still winning. And they can't stand it, they killing them. I be laughing because we be 10 steps ahead of them while they still trying to bring us down. We already know the plan before you even start. We already dismantling your plan before you even start, baby. You can't fool a chosen one. Rhonda says, I can sense monitoring spirits when yes, Rhonda, your gifts is very powerful. But even though you can sense it, don't let it throw you off your game. Just stay awakened, and be discerning to what they're trying to do. And most importantly, be careful with oversharing information in this season, guys, because it's a lot of monitoring spirits. They pretending that they're asking regular questions, but no, they're trying to get in your business to try to destroy your life. So if you got anybody, especially at them jobs, if you got anybody at those jobs, people in your family, they're asking you your financial business. You have some people try to cast spells against your finances. Be careful what you tell people. Matter of fact, don't tell them nothing. Okay, that's good. Illuminated say, no fear here. Great. Melanie say, yes. Tammy say, and I have learned just this year that you cannot never have an answer for ignorance or foolishness. So just let your peace be still. Yes, that's right, Tammy. Rhonda say rebuke, denounce, and counsel them in Jesus' mighty name. I know that's right. Quoting scriptures is the best weapon. Yes, that's right. Because every time I feel some type of way, I always think about the scripture, even if it's fear. And I be telling myself, God didn't give us the spirit of fear. He gave us, the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I have to remind myself, because sometimes the enemy do try to place fear in you. He'll have everything, because in this season, what I went through, it seemed like everything was falling down around me. But God was telling me, don't move by sight, walk by faith, move by faith. And when I learned to do that, everything that was around me, with people acting crazy or lashing out, acting fool, I wasn't paying them no attention. I didn't allow it to get in my inner peace. And I was able to cultivate unapologetic energy, calmness, have a very poised attitude. Like, once you know how to protect your peace, your enemies can't touch you. That's what God means when he say untouchable. Okay, so Christina say yes. Rhonda say look forward. Exactly. Look forward, not backwards. Yep, don't look back like Lot's wife. Because when you look back, it's going to be some consequences. That's why God says keep going forward. Do not double back in this season. Whether you was talking to a toxic partner, if God told you to move on, don't go back. If he told you to cut off a toxic family member, leave a toxic job, do not go back. Because it's a divine reason for it. That's a divine intervention. Sometimes a lot of people, you get discouraged like, hey, why did I lose this job? Or why didn't this relationship work out? It's a reason for that. It's not always bad or you have bad luck. If God seen something before you, he going to pull you out. Point blank, period. Don't ask no questions, because he will reveal it to you eventually. But when he tell you, hey, I need you to get from out of there or do this and do that, just move when he say move. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, they, especially like some of the chosen ones, like they don't want to, get out of relationship. Like if God say, hey, you need to get out of this relationship, it's like they want to hold on to it. But then when you hold on to it, you hurting yourself, because God already told you to detach. So don't stay and hold on to something longer than what God telling you. Okay, so Rhonda said confirmation again. I need to keep my mouth shut. Don't feel bad, because I done said so much to it. I'm telling you, the saddest thing about it, Rhonda, you could say something and not even know that it's going to upset somebody. You could say something as small as something, as something, to you it's big, like, oh my God, I just accomplished a huge goal. I just got a new promotion. But that can set something off in somebody else, and they'll lash out at you. They'll lash out, because I've been through it. I'm telling you, your good news, a lot of people don't want to hear it. You can't tell it. You cannot share your plans. You cannot share your good news with everybody, because everybody that's clapping for you is not happy for you. They're looking for ways to tear you down and take that smile off your face. Christine says, yes, don't react. Yep, you react, you in trouble. Because you handing your power right in their hands if you react. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of clown people in this season. They're setting stages. They got people waiting to laugh at you. I mean, it's funny. After I started seeing behind the veil, it just became so funny to me. But at first, it was weird and creepy, because I'm like, wow, what's wrong with these people? Like, why are they reacting like this? It just felt so weird, you guys. But once God started showing me, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, let me see. We 10 toes down. That's right. Melanie say, yes, Lord. Kevin Bastola says, let me see. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm not really feeling that message, Kevin. I'm going to go ahead and pass back, because you said something about that. I don't agree with that. Okay. Well, I understand, Kevin, that some people have their different beliefs about not believing in God. I'm not sure why you are having that belief. People are weak-minded. That's not the truth. You need to get closer to God. That's all I can tell you. Get closer to God and pray and ask him to show you. If you don't want to do that, then, you're not going to see him. God is, one thing I noticed about God on my journey, you have to seek God. God ain't going to come look for you. Point blank, period. So it's like a lot of people, and not trying to say nothing towards you, Kevin, but a lot of people, they wait till blessings just drop in their lap. No, that's not how God operate. You have to seek God. You have to knock. Then he'll come. So a lot of people, I hear a lot of people, they try to bash God and say negative things, but then some people are not actually putting in the work. They're not looking, they're not praying. Some people are still living in sin. Some people still are not in alignment. If you're not in alignment, God is not going to show up, point blank, period. You got to get in alignment, if you want to understand God and if you want to see, hear his word. Okay. Tammy says, yes, jealousy and envy is the new root. Yes. For some reason, I don't know what it is, Tammy, about the jealousy and envy. That has been very serious in this season. Yes, in the 2000s, definitely. I don't know what it is, but that's not our problem. One thing about God, when he bless you, it's because you put the work in. It's because you did what a lot of people won't do. A lot of people, God try to wake them up. God called them, but guess what? They hit decline. It's not your fault that they didn't answer the call. So when you answer the call, they get mad at you because they see your life, they see you elevating. But that's wrong because you actually did the work and you took the bold step to get where you are. And it's not fair that a lot of people, that's living in deceit, they try to bring others down. But what I've learned to realize, Tammy, is that a lot of people, they're experiencing dealing with that Jezebel spirit, that spirit of wanting to feel like I'm better than somebody, wanting to have the biggest building in town, wanting to just outdo everybody or outshine everybody. When you got that attitude, you going nowhere fast, point blank, period. You cannot expect God to bless you when you think you are God or you think that you higher than everybody. God say make room, to receive. But if you basically saying, hey, I got the biggest building in town, you telling God you don't need him. And you can't have that's pride and ego. You have to let pride go to grow. Okay. Melanie said, I know that's right. Yes. Somebody said it's literally hell on earth. That's right. Sometimes it can be. That's how I feel sometimes too. But sometimes people try to make you experience being hell on earth, especially at those jobs, in your family. Like some people try to create a hell for you, but you got to show them the devil is a liar. You will not. And you have to say it boldly with authority. You will not destroy my life. I will not allow you to get, to affect my inner peace. But for some reason, some people do try to, it feels like that. But I just want to encourage you. Yes, it feels like that, but that's why God, he equips us, he prunes us, and he teaches us how to deal with these things when they arise. Because like I'm telling you, I've been through so much this year, coming from unexpected people that I would never thought would try to betray me or attack me. But I didn't let it break me. It gave me that fuel that I need to get to where I'm at today. So yes, you're going to experience a lot of things because God, God definitely is not going to make our journey easy for us, but he will help you along the way, especially like if you're in alignment and you believe in him. But a lot of people don't even believe in God, and that's why they stuck in those situations. And Tammy says, absolutely, and that is so sad. Exactly. It's definitely sad that people intentionally create a hell for you on earth because they do not want to put the work in and do what's required of them to get where they need to be. Or they too lazy. I'm serious, y'all. Not trying to be mean, but some people are lazy and they see you and they want you to be lazy too. Nope. If you hang with somebody that's lazy, if you hang with somebody that don't want the best for themselves, they want to sit around and gossip, cut them off. No explanation. Yes. Christine say clowns. I'm from the United States. Okay. She said preach, sister. And Tammy say, I now pity a fool. Tammy say, yes, especially this season. I know that's right. She say, and monkey see, monkey do energy have always been a here another root. Let me see. Hello. Hey Teresa, thank you so much for stopping by. I remember you on my last live. I appreciate you. I'm doing great. Thank you. How you doing, Teresa? Christina said, all right, that's what those demons are carrying, a lot of them. That's why I love. Exactly, Melanie. Yeah, when you see somebody with these type of spirits on them, you got to remove yourself from the environment. Okay, so I have, who is that? Welcome in. Who is that? Naran Jado. Welcome in. Why do they watch in private like creeps? Since when is being a people tune cool? This new generation is mad and weird. Yes, it is. I don't know why. I don't know why they sit and watch, but for some reason, well, I can say for some reason, some people sit and watch because, like I said, they envy you. They want what you have, and they know that they'll never put the work in to get where you want, where they want to be. So they watch you and they study you because honestly, they want to outshine you. They'll see what you do and they'll try to do it, but they'll try to outshine you. But they fail to realize is God did not give them your anointing. So they cannot outshine you because God didn't give them your anointing. So while they tiring themselves out and burning themselves out watching you, they're gonna get even madder because they're gonna say, dang, I'll never be able to catch up with them. But like I said, that's why you shouldn't, look at somebody else's life as a measuring stick because it's going to make you upset because, it's a lot of people out here that might have more than us. But like I said, everybody has a purpose. So that's why we don't need to be worrying about, what's going on in somebody else's lane. You got to stay in your lane. I miss you. Doing well. Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Yes, I'm going to try to come on here more often. Definitely. I enjoyed talking to you guys Sunday. I told myself, I said, I'm coming on there today, just to see if anybody got something to talk about. Somebody say, you can't compete with, yes, you can't compete where you don't compare. Exactly. And that's why when people try to compete, I laugh at them because I'm just like, you wasting your time because what God gave me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't compete with it. You got to seek God and find, because you got a blessing too, but it's like they don't want to seek their purpose. They want your purpose. Because a lot of people, you guys, because spiritual warfare ain't no joke. But, it's no joke if you don't know how to cope through it or if you don't know how to handle it. But if you know how to go through it and, slay those demons, you will come out good, But a lot of people, they scared to go through that stage of going through the battles, dealing with the monitoring spirits, dealing with the witchcraft put on them, and like I said, they run from all of that. So when they see somebody else calling, I don't know if y'all heard of the term called destiny swapping, where some people, they'll try to attack you and try to basically transfer your calling onto them by making like your story is their story. Because if you lash out, you giving them the power to try to make it seem like you doing something to them. So they trying to use you as their story. But I'm telling you, don't fall in that trap, guys. If you do what God telling you to do, it'll make them look like they're irrelevant and they mad because they're trying to attack you, but you won't respond. When you don't respond, it makes them irrelevant. Somebody say, yes, you are speaking real widow and acknowledge with good understanding. Yes. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate you. Oh, welcome in, Courtney. She said this is her first time live. Welcome to the Awakened Hermits tribe. We're talking all about topics of, dealing with betrayal, how to conduct yourself and not allow it to throw you off your game. Just teaching y'all how to stay covered and be awakened. Yes. Somebody said, don't covenant. Yes. But I appreciate you for stopping by. We talk about real stuff unapologetically. Some of the things we talk about might ruffle some feathers, but that's why God put us in these positions. Like we touching the surface on everything that we're dealing with, because we're not going to let the enemy make us, make us doubt ourselves or make us feel like we need to shrink. Let me see if it's something else I want to talk to y'all about. Okay, so let me see. Have y'all ever experienced where some people want to be the spotlight and they'll pretend like they don't see you to try to take the spotlight off of you? Have y'all experienced that? And well, if you haven't, I was going to tell you that they do that because, like I said, they admire you, but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to give you the credit like you're doing your thing. For some reason, it just, like I said, ego power tripping game. Because like I said, some people, for some reason, like especially working in jobs, if you're a beautiful female, you like to keep your hair done, you like to get your nails done. You don't compete. You just like to look put together. Because I can't speak for everybody else, but I know when I look good, I feel good. When I used to go to work, I had problems with people in my family. You looking good, have problems with some of them. Like they don't want you to look good. They want you to be stressed out And the reason why they're attacking you, because they want to keep you stuck in your trauma. They're attacking you and betraying you because they want you to keep thinking about those betrayals and let them replay back in your head. So basically they'll be on your mind all the time. But in this season, God say, not my chosen ones, not my prophets, not my, So somebody say, yes, Baba, yes. You don't let them keep y'all stuck in that trauma. We talk about it, but we moving past it. And like with me, I talk about my betrayal because, like I said, I'm educating, as a prophetess, God educated me on a lot of things that a lot of people might not be awakened to yet. And I want to make sure that y'all awaken to some of these tactics and these patterns that's happening. Because if you're not awakened, I'm telling you, they'll throw you off your game. I'm telling you. And a lot of things, you have to worry about too, like, especially like if you're in a workplace or family members, you will have some people trying to intentionally try to wear your spirit down. Like asking you crazy questions that don't make sense just to disturb your peace. I'm telling you, it's a distraction and you got to be awakened to it. They want to weigh your spirit down so you won't have the energy to work on yourself. But you know what's funny, you guys? I didn't know that with you working on yourself affects people. Like when you start focusing on yourself and you tune everybody out, not to be mean, but just to, get yourself together, it makes a lot of people upset because they can't manipulate you, because then God got you right where he wants you. Because a lot of times you can't hear God because you got too many people and distractions around you. And sad to say, a lot of those people trying to keep you from hearing God. But once you get from around certain people that are toxic, that are low vibrational, that trying to pull you down, I promise you, you will start seeing God move. Teresa says, they want you to relive those cycles. I will not. The devil is a liar. I know that's right. They want you to relive those cycles. And before you know it, you'll be stuck and you won't reach your purpose because you'll be so stuck and stressed out worrying about, something that they did. But God said, no more. In this season, you let that go. He says, cast your worries onto him. Don't sit there and hold on to that stuff because then it's going to affect you. You're going to be so stressed out, you're not going to want to do anything. I'm telling you, and that's what energy they want you in. Okay, somebody said crazy. Who's that? Naran? Crazy how when they don't get the response they want, they get others to join in trying to make you react even more. Yes, that part. I've been through that too, Naran. I know what you mean. And see, that's the thing, like, you got to, okay, so when you dealing with somebody like that, that's a narcissist. And they do that because they already, pretty much everybody that joining in, they already know what's going on. They already done plotted and planned on your demise. So, let me see. So when they ask everybody else to join in, it's easier. And see, the thing about it is it boosts their ego and it makes them feel like they're more superior. But what makes me disturbed by the people that just jump on the hate train. Sometimes you have people, y'all, that jump on the hate train and don't even know what's going on. They just want attention or they just want to be liked. God didn't put us here to be liked. He put us here to fulfill a purpose. Who am I talking to today? And see, that's where they mess up at. Because I'm telling you, like, I've been in jobs, I've been cool with certain people, and just because they want attention and want to be popular, they let one person tank somebody's image, and they start lashing out, and basically on the other person's side, not even knowing what who the person, not really even knowing that how the person really is. They just going based off of what somebody told them. And see, when you go based off what somebody tell you, that's where you're making your biggest mistake. Because sometimes just because a lot of people don't, some people, they don't like you, but they'll tell somebody else something just to make them feel like them. No, those are your feelings. But, that's why you got to use your wisdom. You cannot be the type of person to be gullible and easy to persuade. God is not going to choose nobody like that. A lot of people, like I said, they want to be liked. They want attention. That attention seeking, that validation seeking, that will destroy you. Okay, Teresa say, that's so true. Working on yourself is key. Yes. Christine say, try and confuse your mind. Yep, the mind games. And that's what they do. And that's why they need everybody to join in, because it's not fun by themselves. But when everybody else join in, it makes them feel like what they're doing is right. But like I say, the mistake of what the people that's joining in, they, you're going to get the wrath as well. You know what I'm saying? Just because you didn't physically do it as much as the other person don't mean that God gonna be lenient on your judgment. And like I said, a lot of people, they want to be liked. That's what it boils down to. They want attention. They want to be liked. They want to be relevant. But that's not how you get relevant. With chosen ones, I guess, like I said, we intimidate a lot of people because we have, authentic energy. We don't need to be boosted up. We don't need nobody to clap for us. We just move basically, authentically, and that what bothers them because they have to do a lot of clown acts to get attention. Chosen ones do not have to do that. We could just walk in the room and own it, not even trying to. And most of the time, I'm not sure if you guys are like me. I don't even care for attention. I hate it. I used to hate being center of attention, but for some reason, the chosen ones, you always be the center of attention without trying. That's your light that God gave you. Spirit of confusion. Yes, if you see somebody operating with the spirit of confusion, that's not of God. Yes, Naran, yep, that is sad. But for some reason, like I say, it's trending with a lot of people. They come together, forming groups and jobs and families and smearing your name because, like I said, they feel like they feel like your calling is making them irrelevant. Like, what it all boils down to is that influence. Like, when a lot of people, they see you got influence, they see a lot of people, they like you, they want to take all your attention to put it on them. For some reason, they want to be the center of attention. But like I say, God didn't put us here to be the center of attention. He did not put us here to be liked. He put us here to fulfill a purpose. And then that's why they see, that's why they're not going anywhere, and they see you moving ahead of them. Then they get mad thinking, some people be like, oh, God ain't this, or God ain't doing this for me, because of you're not in alignment, for one. And two, you trying to destroy somebody else. God is not going to bless a mess. Point blank, period. Teresa said, you better preach. Yes. Thank you, Kristen. I'm a preach, sister. Tammy said, and no weapons formed against me shall ever prosper again in Jesus' name. Yes. Definitely not. Because if, like I said, God told us that the weapons, they're going to form, but they're not going to prosper, And I guess, like, you got to be careful, chosen ones, because when you seeing those weapon form, it can make a lot of people afraid, or it can make you feel like, oh my God, is God going to show up? But let me tell you something. God is a man of his word. When he say he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And when he show up, he going to show out. Everybody's going to flee. I seen it happen, you guys. I'm a living witness of seeing this happen because he done it for me. I had so many people up against me, and I'm telling you, God made them flee so fast. They looking at me like, dang, they stalking me now, trying to figure out, dang, what's going on with her? They obsessed. When they can't, you got to understand, when a narcissist cannot destroy you, they become obsessed with you. And that's what you're dealing with. I think, who's that, Naran? That's what you're probably dealing with. People obsessed with your energy. Christine said they seek. Okay, Naran says a bunch of insecure people joining together, trying to feel better about themselves at the cost of someone else. Yes. The whole group is insecure, and they standing on each other to boost their confidence. They can't even make a decision without asking somebody else for approval. And see that, and see, they mad because when it comes to the chosen ones, we don't need approval because we already know, you know what I'm saying? And not in a cocky way or not being arrogant. We just don't need approval. You know what I'm saying? We trust our intuition, and that bothers them because they need so many people to feel good, about themselves. Melanie say, right. Tim, yes, they see you as a threat because when people can't control you, they see you as a threat. They want to put labels on you. Oh, they too much. Oh, they, oh, they difficult. Oh, they a problem. I'm telling you, you're going to go through that, especially at a job. And see, when you're at a job, it's kind of hard. It's not hard. It's hard for some people. Most people, when they get labeled like that, they get afraid. But you got to trust God in that situation because I've been through it. God is going to bring you out of that situation. Do not shrink back. When you're in a situation like that, stand taller and let them know that I am not the one, I am not the two, and I am not the three. And I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me. I'm not going to allow you to diminish me and belittle me. You have to stand on your boundaries. When you stand, narcissists don't like boundaries. When you stand on your boundaries, they don't got no choice but to respect you. No, they're not going to like it. But like I said, God did not put you here to be liked. When you're a chosen one, you're a disruptor. You disrupting the dysfunctions, the generational curses. It's not like we here to tear everything down. No, that's not what we're here for. We're here to embrace our truth and do what's right. They don't understand that we're not exactly. They don't understand that we're not in competition. But, it all boils down to how people was raised. Because a lot of people, they've been taught and programmed and conditioned that, especially like if you in a job, because I've been in leadership as well. And a lot of people feel like, oh, you can't outshine the master of this crazy stuff. No, you know what I'm saying? Nobody should be competing anyway. And when I was in leadership, I seen a lot of people look beautiful. And I guess what? I compliment them. I didn't get mad and be like, oh, I'm going to have to tear them down because they're not going to outdo me. Nah, that's not my mindset. That's not my character. I would never be the type of person to be like that. Because if you are the type of person that's like that, that shows that you're insecure. You don't believe in yourself, and you feel like if somebody can just take your spot like that, then that means that you're not equipped to be in positions like that. Because when you're a leader, nothing or nobody can take anything from you when you're a leader. And when you know what I'm saying? When you're a strong leader. Somebody says, in Jesus' name, and Tammy said, yes, if you just trust and believe pure-heartedly, that's faith. Yes, you got to have faith. Melanie says she has lied all through the plant. Oh, God. Yeah, that's how they, believe it or not, that's how they come up at the jobs. They lie on each other. They look for crowds. They want attention. They want to be relevant. I'm telling you, I've been through it. I done been in jobs. I got a lot of attention because, like I said, I love beauty. I love fashion. I like looking beautiful. But like I say, not to compete. But a lot of people got disturbed by that. When people compliment me, that made people mad. I'm like, these people are crazy. To the point that they start telling people, don't give people compliments. I say, wow. When people start moving like that, it's time to go. But that's what they do. They will lie at them jobs. They will lie. And in the family, most definitely in the family too. They will lie on you to make themselves look better, feel taller. But like I said, those are those insecurities. And what I want y'all to know is when people react like that, do not respond to it. And you're going to have a lot of people, because I've experienced this as well. You're going to have a lot of people trying to diminish you. They're going to try to correct you like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And they do this because, like I said, they're insecure and they want to find a way to make themselves look superior to you. So they feel like when they correct you, that they own some kind of power or something. But no, that's not power. That's control and manipulation. When you feel the need to have to control and correct, nah, that's not power. Operating from insecurity. And my thing is, like, with the chosen ones, we get a lot of influence without trying. And a lot of people, they have to get influenced by bringing everybody down or creating crowds for attention or sabotaging people. Like I said, that's not what God ordained for us to do. And with chosen ones, we get the attention naturally. We're humble. Like that's the funny thing. Like a lot of people try to humble the chosen. You can't humble somebody that's already humble. Pretty lady, thank you so much. May I ask, what is your name, and are you a Taurus woman? If not asking too much. Oh, my name is Precious K. And no, I'm not a Taurus. No, ma'am. I'm not a Taurus. But yes, and thank y'all so much for liking the live. I appreciate you guys. I just want to also say thank you so much because I received some donations on my last live. I forgot. Because see, when I received the donations, I didn't have my Cash App on, but I want to say thank you so much for those of you who donated. I appreciate it. Y'all sowed seeds in my ministry garden. I appreciate you guys. I had no idea that y'all was going to do that, but I always put my link in the description just in case, because you never know. But I appreciate you guys for supporting me and all that you do. I love coming on here. I like empowering people, because with these type of situations, like, some people can think it's the end of their story, but no, for some of you, that's why God put me here. It's the beginning of a new chapter. You got to understand how God operate. Because I ain't gonna lie, like, I was going through so much stuff, you guys, this year. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, wait a minute, is this bad luck? Is this karma? What did I do? But I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know that I have been in alignment. So I'm like, God, what is this? Sometimes you have to have that come to Jesus moment, talk to God, figure out what it is. You have to talk to God and see that's what God wants. Sometimes God will break us down to talk to him, because a lot of people, like I said, you have so many distractions around you. You can't hear God, but God will strip you of everything and break you down to get your attention undivided, where you will have no choice but to come to him. And that's what he did to me. And I'm gonna be honest, like, yes, I prayed to God, you guys. I did pray to God, but like I said, I didn't know the magnitude of what God can do for us. You know, because like early this year, I had no idea, you guys, that God was gonna call me to be a prophetess. Like I thought, because when I first started, I was a coach, like helping introverts. Because I'm introverted as well. And I know the struggle of, you don't want to show up on camera. Introverts, we hide from a lot of things. We have a lot of strength, but sometimes we hide. I said those are the ones I want to help, because I overcame a lot of situations that I felt like I couldn't, go through, but I overcame them. So I want to help other introverts do the same. But then God said, you know what? Not only do I want you to help introverts, I want you to help my chosen ones too. And then when he revealed this this purpose to me, you guys, at first, I ain't gonna lie, I got scared. And I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I ran from it at first. I'm like, God, wait a minute. Because at the time he, gave me this call, I wasn't in all the way in alignment. But sometimes, even though you're not all the way in alignment, he still will give you a call, and you take it or you let it go. But I said, you know what? I'm not gonna, let this go off the table. I'm answering the call, and whatever's going on in my life, I'm gonna just have to shut it down. And I shut everything down. I detached from everything he told me to, and I chose God. And like I said, yes, at first I was a little bit, I ain't gonna say afraid, because I'm not the type of person to be afraid of things. But I was just like, whoo, this caught me off guard here, God. You know what I'm saying? I was like, where am I gonna start? Like, because like I said, I see a lot of prophets, because I start looking them up, seeing what they do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do what they do. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna be me, because God chose me for who I am. I'm not gonna pretend to be like somebody else. I'm not gonna look at other prophets and try to do what they do. I'm gonna just do what I do. And that's when I really was able to, step fully into my purpose by just being me. People don't want you to pretend to be somebody else. They want you to be you. Who's that? Say, God sure will break. Yes, he will, Teresa. He will break you all the way down to the ground. But he will build you back up too. And so that's the part that people are afraid of. They scared of that stripping part. Yes, it hurts. I'm going to be honest. It hurts so bad. Christine said, thank you. Come back and ask her some more questions, please. Yes, definitely. Like I said, I enjoy talking to y'all, and don't feel like, some of the questions are uncomfortable. Like, that's why I'm here, because a lot of questions that y'all asking, some people are afraid to ask, and somebody on this live might need to hear what you're asking. So yes, let's talk about it. I am chosen. Tammy says she's chosen, introverted. Ain't no doubt about it. Yes. But the enemy I have, introverts, I'm telling you, we deal with a lot. Like, we so shy, you know what I'm saying? And it can be like we hide, because like the type of person I was before God, fully revealed my purpose to me. I was not the type of person to be going live, doing motivational speaking and all this. I'm like, God, wait a minute. You want me to do this? He said, yep, I want you to do that. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, I embraced it. Like I said, when God called you to do something, of course, he know you might not be fully ready, but that's why you got to get ready and stay ready. So now, what I'm saying, like, whatever he called me to do, I pivot quickly, because I'm like, I stay in alignment. I'm like, you never know what God gonna need me to do. So let me make sure I'm in alignment. Let me make sure I'm, confident in myself. And if it is an area where I feel uncomfortable, I'll do it even more. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to feel like I'm afraid, because God didn't give us the spirit of fear to be afraid. God don't want you doubting yourself. When he called you to do something, he wants you to step into it. Rhonda says, it does hurt though. It is what's best. Yes. And yes, it hurt, but I'm telling you, after you look at it overall, you will notice, like, okay, now I see why God did this. But what I got to want you to understand is, sometimes when God telling you to move, You just got to embrace the unknown. You cannot question why it is, why it. You will know after after he gets you through it. You know, God don't want you to question his every move. You know, you just got to embrace the unknown and have faith. That's what I had to get that under my belt this year, because I'm just like, have faith. All that's going on, and you want me to have faith that everything will be okay, because like I said, everything could be going on wrong, and you would think that there's no way out. But I'm telling you, God always said there's a light at the end of that tunnel. So I'm telling you, move by faith and not by sight. Because I'm not sure, like, if you guys are familiar with the story in the Bible about Noah when he was building that ark. And I think that's kind of like how my situation is. God want me to build certain things, because I have a lot in the making for you guys. I'm not going to announce it, because I don't like to announce anything until I make it and complete it. But God has me working on some things, and it do look ugly around you, but He's telling you to keep going. Whatever you do, do not stop, because a lot of people, they mess up on their breakthrough because they stop right before the breakthrough and they give up. But God didn't put you in this position to give up. He didn't put you in this position to fold. God taking you through some tests, and he's trying to strengthen you. Naran say, no matter how many against you, as long as you have God on your side, you have nothing to worry about. It took me a lot of pain to realize that faith above all else, and you would never be alone. Yes, Naran, that's a perfect statement. It took me a while too, because I didn't know that a blessing was through pain. I didn't know that, we get our blessings through pain. Like I said, I was thinking that it was going to drop from the sky. I don't know how I thought that. A lot of people just think that, they go through something. Oh, God will bless me, or God will do this. Yes, he will. But God want to also know what you're going to do. You can't expect God to do everything, because God want to make you independent. And, because like I said, God did not put us here to be dependent on people. He wants you to depend on yourself, trust in your intuition, and make moves. And like I said, the move that you might make, you might not be ready to make it, but if he's telling you to move, you got to move. You say, thank you so much. Who is that? Rhonda said, you are stronger than Yes. And that's the thing. And she said, Philippians 4:13. Yes, you are stronger than And see, that's the thing. God take you through these tests to show you that you're stronger than Because I'm going to be honest, like, I never look at myself like I'm weak. But you might not be as strong as, I'm going to say, you think you're not. But when I went through those pains and I start standing on business in situations that I didn't, think that I would have to stand on business about, I'm like, wait a minute, I can handle this. And I really start standing tall. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah. When God start showing me, like, going in and staying straight on business. And see, the thing about me, like, I'm an empath, you guys, and I really care about people's feelings. I used to, in the past, be the person to try to, to get along with everybody. But you're not going to be able to get along with everybody, because everybody just ain't going to like you. And that's why I had to understand, because I was the type of person, like, can we all just get along? No, you're not going to get along. And that's why God put us in these positions, because, like I said, a lot of people, they're not going to like you. But he didn't put us here to be liked. And that's what I had to understand too. Like, okay, a lot of people not going to like me. That's cool. And I had to cultivate that unapologetic energy, because you cannot be worrying about people that don't like you, because it's a distraction. Christina says the spiritual warfare is no joke. God's given us yes, the spiritual warfare. I'm telling you guys, and I'm going to show y'all. Everywhere I go, I take my book with me, because you never know when you might need to pull it out. I sleep with it at my bedside in every situation that I've been through. Who's that end girl Precious out here? Like Rhonda King. Same too. She got me laughing. She said, yes, girl, you got to have that book. As soon as somebody start tweaking out, I'm like, oh, let me get my book. Somebody say, Earth Angel checking my sister and handles God's work. So after all the lessons I've learned, be a street marine, spiritual gangster, Earth Angel handling. That's what's up. G2G. Thank you so much for coming in. Yes. But every situation that I've been in is in this book. Down to the humiliation ritual. Can't even get it out. The devil trying to get me. Like, don't be telling them the goodies. Yeah, that humiliation ritual where people want to publicly shame you because they intimidated by your success. What else I've been through? in this book. Generation, the curses. I'm not sure if y'all experienced like the python spirit where it's trying to suffocate your spiritual growth. Um, I dealt with a lot of cults in this season. Being silently tormented. Do I have anybody that been silently tormented in here? Spiritual fatigue and tiredness. I'm telling you, this book, y'all, it got so much in there. And what I'm gonna start doing for you guys, because I did get a couple of requests wanting me to read some of the pages in my book. I'm gonna start reading some of the prayers on my videos. So if you see a video and it says something about a prayer, some of the videos might just be a prayer, because some people, they need that healing, for certain particular topics. And it was a couple of people reached out to me saying pray, so be on the lookout for those. Just more confirmation because you are speaking the same things that I have been feeling, speaking, and sharing for the last 16 years of my life, and steady learning and growing in wisdom and knowledge. Wow, Tammy. So you just been dealing with this for a while. It's definitely confirmation. And that's why God bringing certain people, I'm telling you, if this message resonate with you, God is bringing certain people, as confirmation, and let you know that vindication is here. I'm telling you. G2G says, yes, ma'am, came to bring victory, God's promise, and I talk about God without shame or worried of anyone or anything from this world, because I'm God's child, full of love. That's good, G2G. And for some reason, it seems like when you embark on your path to transformation, where you get closer to God, you gain a lot of enemies. Because it seems like when, like I said, I always loved God, don't get me wrong, but when I didn't really understood or had like a faith, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have all these attacks. It seemed like people liked me better when I was asleep. But you know what? I was sleeping on myself, but I'm woke now. And ain't nothing nobody gonna do to put me back to sleep. I'm woke now. They're in trouble now. Let me stop. Because I'm telling you, we stepping on the enemy neck and we ain't letting up. G2G say, I tell him like my boy T.I., the rapper, bring him out. I know that's right. That's where I'm at. When God does strengthen you and you one of God warriors, we ready. Like that song say, we ready. Y'all got me cut up tonight. Oh goodness. Definitely I am. Shoot. With it, I done got to a point where I done start sizing them up. Like what's going on? Like I said, we ain't no fighters, but don't push us. Let me see what else I can talk about. Somebody said being ready. Yes, God make me laugh at these. Yeah, that's the thing. If you laugh about it, that's why I'm coming on here. We're gonna laugh about it, we're gonna joke. And when we talk about this, it's not to bash nobody, because they need to find God as well. We need to pray for those who curse us. Pray for those, who's lashing out. But we are gonna have fun about it. We talking about our situations, because they were so crazy. You can't get mad about it because it's funny. Sometimes I kid you not, sometimes I could be sitting here and think about a situation. I don't think about it often, but when I do, I just bust out laughing. Like I stood on business in that situation. I went in there and stood straight on business, and to make you feel good, because I don't know if y'all heard that term when people say the chosen ones always have the last laugh. That's true. I'm telling you. Somebody say yes, fatigue. Yes. But sometimes you could be dealing with fatigue, Christine, because, God is still transitioning you and you're still going through your transformation stage. So your body got to get used to a new you, especially if you went through the rebirth stage. I'm not sure where you at in your journey, but I know with me, as God was, rebirthing me and taking me through those situations, I felt fatigue at first. And I'm like, what is it? This witchcraft or this God doing this? They make you think like, which one is it? But I'm telling you, everything that you feeling is not always witchcraft. It could be something that God is doing to prepare you, to prune you, so you will be ready. Because see, sometimes, like I said, when you experience fatigue, your body, your spirit can be fighting, in the spiritual realm while you sleep. Your spirit tired. Your spirit fighting battles for you while you sleep. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Somebody said, learn to forgive yourself and thy enemies, because that's walking in love. Yes. When I look at my enemies now, like, I don't even be angry with them, because like I said, they don't understand that God sent us here to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even be angry no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I've grown to realize that we're not fighting flesh. We're fighting principalities, so it's just like, sometimes the devil can be, having spirits operating in them, and they don't even know it. And the thing about it, like, especially when it comes to like them being jealous, that's when the devil get them even worse, because they already feeling weak, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be easier to get them to convert into what he want them to do. That's why you got to stay strong and resilient. And like I said, we're human. You're going to have a situation where somebody, you might be envious or jealous. We're human, but everybody handles things different. Like with me, I don't get jealous of nobody. But if I see something that I want, or I see something that I admire, I'll tell the person, hey, I admire that. I like that. Where did you get that? And one thing about me, I don't like to copy nobody. I'm very unique. I like to have my own style. If I see everybody doing something, I'm going to do something different than them. That's just me. I don't like being like nobody else. So that don't bother me, you know. But like I said, I've never been the type of person to be jealous of somebody to the point where I want to bring them down. If, I deal with an insecurity, guess what? I'm going to work on me and be like, you know what? I don't like I felt when I was around that person. Let me work on me, because I don't want to feel like I'm hating on somebody. No, God didn't put you here to be jealous. You got your own gifts. Okay, somebody say, LOL, yeah. I'm like, bro, God is who made all those weak little demons and stuff. How you gonna go against God? Exactly. But for some reason, some people think they're more powerful than God. They get their little witchcraft and go in the closet with them candles. And they think they're gonna tear the world down. But I'm telling you, God finna wrap it up. I'm telling you. They throwing word curses at people. I done seen it, y'all. And when you are chosen, you're going to deal with trolls. You're going to deal with people trying to fake correct you. You're going to deal with people trying to throw digs at your self-esteem, your beauty, your confidence. You're going to deal with those things, but that's why you have to be strong-minded to not fall and stoop down to the low vibrational levels of other people. Do not engage. Like if y'all ever see any comments of somebody being low vibrational, or somebody, bringing confusion and chaos, don't respond to them. Don't react. Because they want attention. They want to come get some of your spotlight. Nah, this is my spotlight. Go find your own. They want to get in the light too. You would have been in the light if you wouldn't been in darkness with them candles. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. And them altars. Shoot. Somebody say, okay, thank you, right? Okay, that and girl said, go in the closet with those little, exactly, with them little candles. Naran said, people be jealous of your anointing and try to tear you down until they get humbled. Exactly. God is humbling all of them. And see, the thing about it is they try to tear you down. So God got them. And they think, the funny thing about that, Naran, I'm glad you brought that up. When you say people watching you. But those same people that watching you, God get ready to humble them. They get ready to have front row seats to your glow up. They thinking they stalking and watching you in secret, thinking it's a joke. But no, y'all really be, you think you was mad before. You really get ready to get mad now, because God really about to stand on business for me. So that's why I say I don't let the monitoring bother me. I don't let the trolls bother me. People saying negative things like that. That don't move me. Because like I said, I know the people that does this is coming from a low vibrational level. And to be honest with you, when you're dealing with trolls, I guarantee you, when you look at how many subscribers they got, for one, they might not even have a profile, and they probably got one subscriber. Do not let these people that don't have no influence try to influence you and try to hold you back and deter you. They see you got influence and they want to steal your influence by trying to deter your people against you, to be focusing on them. Don't fall in them traps, you guys. I'm telling you, that's a trap from the devil. Like I said, for some reason they think that if they say little things, it'll make you doubt yourself. Do not allow nobody to control your emotions in this season. Somebody said, it seems like you have been it seems like you've been looking into my soul, speaking most of the exact things with some same experiences and explanations on He said, we share the messages. Hallelujah. God be to glory. Yes, Tammy. That's why God bring y'all all to me, because he want all of us, to come together. God put us here as a community. He did not put us here to compete against each other, to, bring each other down, to curse one another. I'm telling you, like, you'll be surprised at how angry people are. They cursing you, wishing bad luck on you. But I laugh when they curse me, because you know why? When you the chosen one, it going right back to you. It's gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce off us like water, because guess what? Your curses don't affect us, baby. They don't get it. And that's why they mad, because they done tried everything and it's not working. Like, why can I take this person down? Because we are the chosen ones. And somebody said, yeah, even my mama and family was demons, is why I'm so real with it, because I've been through the mud. Yes. And see, that's the thing. And the people that's attacking you, they don't even know how getting it out the mud look. They so used to taking shortcuts. They used to people handing them things. They used to depending on people. But when they see a chosen one standing in their power, radiating confidence like they never saw before, it disturbs the demons inside of them. They feel like, for one, you're having issues because they're afraid of who you're going to become. Because they didn't see you, above what they thought you was going to be. They want you to stay in a box, and like I said, you got to be careful of being around people that want to keep you sad and feeling, in that negative energy. Sharon, welcome in, Sharon. Thank you so much. She said, thank you. You're welcome. Let me see. That Ann girl said, I like to remind people that, that occult stuff does work, but it pales in comparison to the strength of the one true God. Oh, you say, but no comparison to the strength of the true God. Now that's power. Yes. God, one thing about God, he allows something to work to a certain extent, but if it's something that God do not want to work, he will not allow it. If God allowed it, it's something that he's trying to show you and teach you, because he wants you to overcome it. Because a part of being a chosen one, you have to go through the struggles and battles so you can know how to rise above it. And sometimes, if somebody, you do go through those situations, God allowed for a reason, not to hurt you, but to prune you. Naranda say amen. Sharon say, wow, yes. Christine say yes. All that, all my life, I've been trying to keep me down. Yeah, that's what they do. They got a song like that too. I'm about to start singing it, but I'm like, I ain't gonna say, go here. The song say, all my life, they tried to keep me down. I'm telling you, that's a true statement, because they try to keep you down. They can't stand to see you rise, but God said, not my chosen ones and not my prophetesses. Somebody say yes, biblical times, because they fed. Let me see, because they effed up now, because we walk by faith, not by sight. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Yep. But you know what? Like I said, a lot of people, they're afraid to move by faith, because they, like I say, the enemy will have a lot of stuff falling down around you, and that scares people. And guess what they do? They shrink back. But God don't want you to shrink back, and that's why, God, he'll do stuff to make you uncomfortable. Because I believe God been trying to get my attention a while ago, but some of the things God was trying to get my attention, I wasn't ready. But God did a whole bunch of things in my life, like, okay, you ain't ready, I'm gonna make you ready. And when he did that, y'all, I woke up and like, okay, God, what you want? Now I'm just like, what you want me to do? I don't make no decisions without God. I'm telling you. I mean, I trust my intuition, don't get me wrong, but I still go to God about everything. Christina says, you got to ignore them. They're trying to trigger you. Exactly. They're trying to trigger you, that part. But when they start seeing you standing on business, and when they start seeing you untouchable, they're going to keep trying you, but like I said, they're going to eventually say, you know what? We can't do nothing with them. Move to the next target. But it's hard for them to move to the next target because they didn't take you down. And for some reason, like I said, narcissists, when they cannot destroy somebody, they become obsessed with destroying you. Instead of working a 9 to 5, you are their 9 to 5. They got people stalking you, monitoring you, trying to be you, trying to study you. You cannot be who God did not call you to be. Point blank, period. And like I said, the way that I rise, one thing about me, it's so easy to get caught up on social media, worrying about everybody else's life, not even knowing that people just doing a highlight reel. That might not really even be their real life. But with chosen ones, we're authentic, like we who we say we are. But that's why I don't look like how I came up. Like I didn't look at nobody else's journey. I stayed in my lane. I don't, a lot of times I didn't even scroll to see what everybody else was doing. I just stayed focusing on what I was doing. you know I didn't, I don't have to worry about what somebody else doing before I make a move. But you have some people, before they make a move, they need to come check and look on your page. Well, let me see what they doing, to try to catch up with you. God didn't put us here, like I said, God didn't put us here to catch up with somebody. You got to find your own purpose. My purpose is not your purpose. And even if they do try to do what you're doing, it's not going to hit the same, because God didn't call you to do that. You got to ask God what he called you to do. Like I say, for me, I see other people, and yes, I be inspired, but I don't want to do what everybody's doing. I want to do what God calling me to do. Like I said, I like to be different. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a very private person, because usually, like I said, I never thought I'd be the person to be on here speaking, because I'm very private. I don't like nobody in my business. I stay to myself. I'm a hermit. I like to stay to myself, do my own thing. That's just me. But God, like I said, when God calling you, no matter what your situation was before, it's going to change. You got to do what he's calling you to do. And when I stepped into it, honestly, it made me more confident. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we could be a hermit. We could be so shy. But I'm just like, now, you know what I'm saying? I might be shy sometime, but I'm definitely, I take steps. You know what I'm saying? I have more courage, more wisdom. I don't allow things to paralyze me from making decisions like I'm afraid. No, I'm not afraid. If I'm afraid, I'm going to do it afraid. That's where I'm at now. Because when you do things that you scared of, that's when you know you're in the right lane. Somebody say, hold on, let me see. Standing in God's power. Glory to God, Lord Most High. Yes, that end, girl. GTG say, glory to be God. Glory to God is what that means. Yes. Naran says, they put you through God. They put you through God is using it to make, what they put you through, God is making you stronger and to build you while they think they're hurting. Exactly. God is turning, the evil to good. And he says that in the Bible, and they don't get it. They thinking, that pit that they digging for you, they digging for themselves. And they're going to later find that out. And some people, like I said, they can come up against you and know it's wrong. But like I said, so everybody don't believe in God. They say God, but their God might be different than the one we believe in. So you got to make sure when you ask somebody, who they believe in, especially like if you're in a relationship, do you believe in God? You need to ask them which God you believe in. Make sure we on the same page, because baby, I don't need no confusion. Make sure we on the same page, because if y'all ain't on the same page, that relationship is not going to work. Somebody said, when God says move, I move. And to know God is to know love. Yep. And tomorrow is a promise to everybody. So I thank Jesus for this present by showing gratitude. Amen. Yes, gratitude. Because a lot of times we could be going through a crazy situation. But, you sometimes you got to be thankful for the small things. Thank you, Lord, for waking me up. Thank you for, having water. Thank you for having lights. You got to be thankful for the small things. You can't always focus on everything else. And Sharon says, thank you. Sharon says, thank you for your message. Stay, behave me on my job. They rolled me. Oh, goodness. They rolled me up over a lie. I got approved. The girl lied on me. And it's just like I've been experiencing some outrageous attacks at your job, Sharon. And see, that's the thing. Like you're going to deal with a lot of attacks, especially at the job, because a lot of people at the jobs, they think that they can get away with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Sneakily. They think they can throw rocks and hide their hands, but there's always ways around it. And you got to be that type of person, when you're the chosen one, you got to be that type of person to not be afraid to speak up. Because if you're afraid to speak up, that's how they're getting away with things. Because I've been at jobs, a lot of jobs in my past where A lot of people, I seen them afraid to speak up, and they just dumb themselves down and shrink to what they want. And I'm like, no, because my thing is, I've never been the type of person to conform. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like something's not right, I'm gonna speak up now. I'm not rocking with it. And not to be combative and not to be disrespectful, but if I know something is not right and I feel like it's making me reduce who I am, I'm going to speak up and I'm going to stand straight on business unapologetically. That's just the type of person that I am, but everybody is not like that. But when people, that's why a lot of people don't like the chosen ones, especially in workplaces, like, because when people see that you stand up for yourself, it's going to awaken everybody else. And see, that's why they attack you because, that's why they attack you because they don't want to, I don't know what's going on yeah. That's why they attack you, because they don't want you to wake everybody else up. You know, they want everybody to stay asleep and conform to the dysfunction that's going on. So you got to, you got to know that they, they mad basically because you're awake. So they want to get rid of you and try to extinguish your light, to try to shrink you back down so everybody else can, be on the same accord. No, God didn't put us here to be shrink down. We standing on business, and God want everybody to rise. And like I said, when people start seeing, because I've seen it happen, when people in workplaces, they start seeing you stand up, they'll start standing up too. And see, that's when y'all become a threat. But what I came to realize about jobs, like they try to divide everybody, especially like if you're a strong one, you're going to be the one that's isolated because they know that you're going to speak up. And then when you speak up, everybody else going to speak up. So that's what I start noticing about jobs and leadership. Like they want to keep you isolated so everybody else can stay asleep. But no, God didn't put us here to be, divided. That's that Jezebel spirit. When people want to divide you, God wants us to be unity. He wants everybody to be together. He wants us to rise together and help each other. Melanie Davis say, right. Christine say, too bad that box meant to be open. Exactly. I'm busting out that box like a can of biscuits. That's what I ain't about to, I ain't being stuck in nobody's box. Tabby said, exactly. Melanie say, right, I'm going to do me. And G2G says, I hermit a lot because silence is not weakness. That's right. It's God forging me, yes, in the fire to rise up stronger in faith and trust, and minds is unshakable. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Yeah, hermit is not a weakness, but a lot of times narcissists will think that because you silent, that's surrender. No, that's not surrender. That's strategy, baby. You got to discern the difference. Because like I said, a lot of attacks that I've been through, I just got silent, y'all. Not because I was afraid, not because I was weak, because I was strategizing. Like, okay, I see how you move. I see you doing this. I'm quiet, but I'm paying attention. Because when I make my move, I'm going to stand straight on business and everything going to come falling down. That's how that's how the chosen ones do. I'm telling you, when the chosen one make their move, everything fall down. I'm telling you now. So that's the thing that, like that saying say, you don't want to keep poking the bear, because when you poke the bear, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna like what you gonna get. I used to do that. Sharon says, yeah. Grateful. Right. Okay. Welcome in, Balance. Thank you so much for coming in. He said, hey, Soul Tribe, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you being a part of my tribe. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Balance. Yes. Gotta do this because, like I said, a lot of people, they want to, have people operating in fear, and I'm just like, no, God didn't give us the spirit of fear. I'm going to speak to everybody, speak life into people, because a lot of people, they go through situations, they think it's the end of their story. But no. Like I said, everything that I've been through, I built myself up from it. Like like I said, I didn't know I was going to become an author. I always had friends tell me, like, with the stories I've been through, they say, girl, you can write a book. But I end up actually writing a book. And I'm just like, oh, like I said, God, you'll discover a lot of stuff when you go through that pain. And that's why when you wake up, people, like I said, a lot of people get mad because they know when you wake up, it's only up for them. It's only up. It's only up from here. You have helped me. Oh, thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so glad to hear that my messages are inspiring you and helping you. Kevin, welcome in, Kevin. He said, kindly pray for me. I definitely will pray for you, Kevin. Whatever your situation is, I pray that God help you through it. Sharon said, dang, you right. Yes. Definitely. But like I said, with every attack that I've been through, somebody said, Davigo. Okay, somebody said when and how can I speak to you one-on-one if possible? D Vega, I'd be happy to speak to you. Head over to the beginning of my profile and you might see, do I have the link in my bio? I mean in my description? No, I don't think I have in my description. Look in my at my profile at the beginning. Click that link and you will see a lot of options of different sessions that I have, and just choose the session that best fits your situation. Because I have multiple sessions depending on your situation. And if you need help, I'll be happy to help you. But it's at the beginning of my profile. You will see it say Linktree. You click that link and it'll bring you to a lot of different sessions that I offer. And Sharon say pray for me. I definitely will, Miss Sharon. I definitely will pray for you. Kevin say pray for my marriage. My wife, Mary, walked out of the house 3 months. Now she's my wife. Still I need God intervention. Now his wife. Okay. I definitely pray for you. I'm so sorry about this situation. Just know that, when people walk away from you, you just got to ask God, like, okay, what is it that you're trying to show me? Because sometimes, like that saying say, if they walk, let them walk. Don't chase them, because it's a reason why they walked away. So don't be upset, because it might be God, showing you something. And it might be something that God is turning around for your good. I know it might hurt right now. I definitely know that. But you got to just keep going and keep asking God, like, what is it that you're trying to show me? But if somebody is walking away, don't never chase them. Okay. And God definitely will intervene. You just got to ask him specifically what you want. Okay, so Naran says, I need prayer, intercede on my behalf. I definitely will pray for you. And I'm going to start doing some prayer sessions. Like when I come on here, like if y'all want certain prayers, y'all tell me what y'all dealing with. And I could pray for you on the lives, because like I said, I wrote a book with 52 prayers. So if y'all feeling some type of way, I can, go, or you going through certain things, I can open this book and we could pray on this live, because God put me here. Like I said, I'm a healer as well. I can help, you heal and get through your situation. Oh, somebody say silence is golden. Definitely. And balance. They say when the chosen ones rise, they balance still right. And I'm going to wait till you finish your sentence. But yes, chosen ones are rising. But we got to come together so we can stay strong, because it's like I said, a lot of narcissists, they're trying to break us down, trying to break our spirit. They're trying to rob us of our peace, our destiny. And if you're not careful, you basically going to fall into those traps that they set in. So you got to keep your eyes open and just be discerning of who you're around. If you're around somebody and you feeling like your energy is out of pocket, or you feeling like you feeling more drained and you talk to that person, sometimes that person can likely be a monitoring spirit. So Naran say, do you have any advice on overcoming gang stalking and following harassment? Yes. With the gang stalking, what I would basically say is, because like I said, I've been through that as well. Do not engage, none whatsoever. Because if you engage, don't even look. And one thing too, don't let them see that they're affecting you. You got to, like I said, you just got to treat them like they don't exist. I know it's annoying, but you got to treat them like they don't exist. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Long as they ain't putting their hands on you. But if you are in a situation like dealing with gang stalking in the workplace, I definitely would speak up on gang stalking in the workplace. But it's just like somebody in your family, but they just trying to stalk you. If it ain't like, I would say like, if they not like following you, you know what I'm saying? Or it depends on the situation with the gang stalking. But like if you at work, I would definitely report it. Definitely. Because, like I said, that's a place of where you trying to do your job at. You cannot do your job if people trying to steal your peace and your joy at the job. But if you're dealing with gang stalking, whether it's in your family, I would say distance yourself. Do not put yourself, in a situation to be, letting things affect your emotions. And the harassment, So Naran, so when you're dealing with the gang stalking, let me ask you a question. Is it somebody inside your workplace, or it's somebody in the family? And while I'm waiting on your response, I'm gonna go to the next one. So that Ann say, I'll pray for you. Yeah, I'll pray for you, Naran. No match for God. Yeah, we'll all pray for you, Naran. We here as a, a group. Anything that we can do to help, we are here. But like I said, with that gang stalking, I know how disturbing it is very aggravating. But that's the enemy. He's using people to gang stalk. He's using people to monitor you because you have a calling on your life that's a threat to the enemy's kingdom. You just got to know your power and stand in it. Welcome in Brenda Hart, and thank you so much for stopping by. She said, praying for a place of my own so I can make changes, fostering a child. God bless you. Just keep praying. It will happen. You got to speak it into existence. Balance. Say when the chosen ones rise, they we say crutch. And I promise you, it's not something you want to see. Exactly. Yep. And see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. They already know what time it is when the chosen one's rising. It's a wrap, and they know it. And like I say, it's not in a wrap like we the type of person try to hurt them. We just stand on our truth, and we do it unapologetically. Like I said, you got to understand the people that's coming against you, they're living their lives in illusions. They thrive off manipulation and control. And being that you're a chosen one, they can't control you, so that makes them angry. Because you'll be surprised, you guys. There's so many people out here allowing people to use them. Oh, hey, Monica, thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for, everything that you're doing. I appreciate your continued loyalty and support. We're just basically talking about, not letting people control our emotions, how to respond, dealing with gang stalking. I know I dealt with gang stalking. I was telling, what's his name? Naran, that is very annoying, you know what I'm saying? But you just can't feed into the noise, because all there is noise. Once you start to see, it's like a noise campaign. They want to come around, distract your peace, to make you mad, you know what I'm saying? But when you don't, you just can't play that game and fall into those traps with them. Because you can't let them know they bothering you. Because like some people, they handle things wrong. Like when they deal with gang stalking, they react, they lash out, and see, that's what they want. And see, if you lash out, they're going to keep doing it. Okay, Naran say following around, and when you confront them, they gaslight. Exactly. Don't try to confront them, because that's why I feel like God led you here, because it's going to be vindication for you as well. God don't want you to react. Don't confront them. Don't say, let them feel like they got you. Just let them feel like they winning. Because the moment you confront them, yes, that's the trap. They gaslight you to reacting, so they can be looking at you like, hi, look at him. See, please don't fall in the trap, you guys. They like clowns looking for a circus act. They got crowds of people waiting to see you go down. I'm telling you, it's funny. And when I start seeing that, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So Naran say outside, and no family exes got people after me with their lies. So it's just outside. So, like I was saying, Naran, like if you dealing with situations where people stalking you, just always be aware of your surroundings. Just make sure that you don't have anybody following you, for a long period of time. I would definitely stay like in a public place, making sure nobody follow you home, knowing where you live at. But like I said, don't let them, feel like they getting the best of you, because that's what they want. They want you to feel like they, for some reason they want to invade your peace, and that makes them feel like they got some power some kind of way. I don't know why they feel like that, but it's very creepy and embarrassing, just crazy. Monica says, so true. Walk in your God-given power, not allowing your power to be taken, yes, by the darkness. Yes, that part, Monica. See, that's the thing. They want to take your power, but you cannot allow them that access. God said access denied in this season. Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate you. She said, I've been through it at my last job. The gang stalking. And I'm not sure, like, what your situation was, Monica, like when you went through it, but I'm telling you, they'll gang stalk you for the silliest things. If you the type of person you like to, you like to show up nice, you the type of person you get a lot of attention, people like to talk to you, they'll gang stalk you for that. Naran say, worst part is gaslighting to make it worse. Yes, the gaslighting. And see, that's the part that people like to, like I said, they do that because they want to annoy you. They want you to be disturbed. And see, that's the thing. With all those distractions they sending your way, you're not going to be able to focus on your purpose, because guess what? You worry about them. And see, that's the plan. If they can get you to stop worrying about your purpose and focus on them, they won. But what you got to understand is no matter what's going on around me, I'm going to keep building. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep doing what God calling me to do. That's where I had to get my head to that. I don't care what's going on around me. Long as they don't put their hand on me, we cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to remove myself, because like my thing is, you cannot control how somebody else respond, but you can control how you respond. And like I said, once you get in, once you master emotional, once you do that emotional mastery, you definitely, see a difference in your life. You got to master your emotions, because that's how they get you. If they can just, because for one, they're going to start off testing you, doing little small things like, okay, they're going to press your buttons like it's a remote control. Okay, if I press this button, I'm going to see how they're going to act. Okay, if I press this button, is she going to do this? If I press this button, is they going to do that? It's like a game. So you cannot give them that leverage of your life of letting them know that they can just play with your emotions and set you off. See, with the chosen ones, like with me, I call myself the mysterious hermit, because I'm very mysterious. Like, they'll never know how to affect me, because I don't give them that satisfaction to know how to bring me down. With me, it's like they think like, dang, what can I do? They can't figure it out. Like with the chosen ones, you will never be able to figure a chosen one out. Balance say it always looks like we are losing. Yes, until God intervenes. At first, it looks like we're losing. But like you said, when God intervenes, and the thing about it, it looks like we're losing because God don't show up in the time that we want him to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times God can, we could be going through things. Be like, God, come on now. Where you at? Because it feeling like I'm getting the worst end of the deal. But I'm telling you, God show up in divine timing. And you got to understand that when God, do his karma on people, he do it slowly. When they think that he forgot, when they thought that they won, that's when he come in. I'm telling you. So you got to understand how God move. It's not the karma, and not that we praying on somebody's karma, because I've never been the type to pray on nobody's karma, but the vindication is what we praying for. When God vindicates you, he will do it, and make sure that you're aware when he's doing it, but it's not going to be on your timing. It's going to be on his timing. You're welcome. I'm Naran. Monica say unhealed trauma on their part. Yes. The more you grow, the more you notice it. Exactly. And see, that's the thing. They're attacking you because they don't want to put the work in to heal themselves. They, hurt people. And they want you to be hurt because they hurt. No, just because you hurt, those are your feelings, not mine. You're not, you can't allow people to project their negative energy on you. We inspire them, and our inner God intimidates their darkness. Exactly. Their inner darkness. Exactly. And they're not going to let you know that you inspire them either. They want you to feel like you're doing something wrong. They want you to doubt them yourself, to try to make it seem like they the one with all the sense. But I'm telling you, God putting a stop to all that in the season. And Monica said, I just left that job 2 months ago on the answered prayer and received employee of the quarter already at my new job. Congratulations. And that's fast too. So that was the other job holding you back. Congratulations. That let you already know that you're in the right lane. Because for one, when you at a job, a lot of people, they are intimidated by your success. They're not going to root for you. They're not going to promote you. They're going to make it look like you're doing something wrong. They're going to make it look like you're a problem. They're not going to, the only ones that they will reward is the ones that conform into the dysfunction. The ones that obey the disrespect. But if you're a chosen one and you stand straight on business, you will never get nobody to clap. They're not going to clap for you. The only people that you're going to get to clap for you is the people in your tribe. The people that been through things you've been through. You said, thank you. God shows up and he showed us. And that and girl said, whoop, whoop. Yep. I'm telling you. So that's why, as a chosen one, you can't worry about people not supporting you. Because a lot of people, I've had it happen to me in my family, in the workplace, in churches. They intentionally not support you because they don't want you to feel like you're doing something right. They want you to feel like you're doing something wrong. They'll mock you intentionally to make you feel like you're not it. But you can't let their projections make you feel, you can't you can't be in agreement with what they're doing. You got to let them know, like, look, just because you feel that way, I know who I am and I know whose I am. Balance say, And Monica said, yeah, you speaking facts. Balance said, or these people aware how dangerous we are. I'm even afraid of myself. God, don't be too harsh on them. Exactly. Balance. I can feel you on that. Sometimes I'll be like that too, like, ooh, because there is a dark side of chosen, and not like, demonic type, but look, we stand on business too. Like, we know how to stand on business on the good side, and we know how to fight that spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? We soldiers. we soldiers over here. So I'm telling you, and I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I forgot to tell this. A lot of people are intimidated by you because they're afraid of you. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to being able to bend people so quick and make people fold. But see, they get confused when it comes to the chosen ones, because a lot of times we're quiet, we're calm, because God made us humble. We don't have to make noise to be seen. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's where they get confused at, because they think that, because if you notice the people that are attacking you, they feel like you got to be loud. Because I had that happen to me at jobs, in families. People got to overtalk you to feel like they're important, or they got to try to minimize you so they can feel more important. I'm telling you that there ain't nothing but a bunch of noise, and they're afraid of your potential. They are intimidated by you. So if you got people that try to cut you, I even had people try to cut me off while I was walking, and guess what? I act just like I ain't seen them. Treat them like they was a ghost, and that thing kill them even more. Like, dang, I try to do this and that ain't move you. Nope, because you on a low vibrational level. I've already rose above those petty attacks. Monica said, God don't play about us. He sure don't. Just saying, yes, speak. So true. Our spirit speaks volume. Yes, y'all don't forget to hit that like button. Give me some likes up in here to bring some more people on in here, because some other chosen ones need to hear that too. Because I'm telling you, we go through a lot. We go through a lot of pain. And like I said, I only come on here like when I'm on a full cup, because sometimes, like I said, when you dealing with betrayal, you fighting those battles. It's, sometimes like you might not be in the mood to speak, but like I said, God definitely will fill your cup back up. Yes, Lord. But I just thank God that I was able to be, a good inspiration for you guys, and just seeing that you guys going through the same thing, it's crazy that we got to go through these situations, but I'm glad that we can work together as a tribe and work through it together, and and basically strengthen each other, and we not like narcissists where we got to stand on each other's confidence, because we are already confident. You know what I'm saying? We are already, that our aura is that. So we could just, all we do is help each other, empower each other, not to fall weak into those traps. So, but I enjoy talking with you guys. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I enjoy talking to you. I'm going to try to come on here even more, but I'm going to go ahead and leave out, because I have to go somewhere in a few minutes. But I'll talk to y'all another time. Thank y'all so much for coming to my live. The Ann girl said, thank you, Precious, for being obedient and posting on this platform. His people need you. I know that's right. I'm about to make a video real quick as soon as I get out of here, because I'm telling you, I got one. I got another one. Bye, everyone. See y'all later. Y'all have a good